An article had come out recently with the 10 rare submissions in No-Gi Jiu Jitsu. What made these submissions rare? Well, it was the fact that you don't see them hit that often in competition. Now, this can be due for the fact that they are either easy to see coming and the person's able to defend it, or it requires a very specific position and setup to actually hit the submission. Whereas like a guillotine, for instance, I can hit that almost anywhere. So in no particular order, here's number 1, the Bulldog Choke. Now, if I'm hitting this Bulldog Choke, typically I'll hit this from turtle position, especially if this person's kind of hunkering down a little bit, right? I'm gonna take my same side hand, I'm going to drive a cross face right across their face, typically. Ideally, I wanna get right underneath the bridge of the nose so that as I abruptly lift up their head, I can take my opposite hand and immediately just look to bring it right across their neck. And I'm gonna switch my grip back to either an S grip, gable grip, doesn't matter. And now I'm gonna take my back knee and I'm simply just going to sit through and drop my hips, and I'm just gonna sit here and crank and squeeze on their head, and that is the Bulldog Choke. Number 2, the No-Gi Baseball Choke. Now, typically this is seen in the gi just for the fact that I can grab the lapel. I can still hit this in No-Gi. When I'm in this position, I wanna make sure that I at least have the cross face. Now, if this person is posting off of my face like this, that's fine because they're starting to create a little pocket here, or maybe they're just not letting me get this underhook for whatever reason, right? This gives me the opportunity to shoot my hand across, and essentially all I'm looking to do is to lock my fingers together. Now, for me specifically, when I am doing the baseball choke, I might start with this grip. When I go to actually finish it, I'm going to switch to just like 2 or 3 fingers just so that I can get a little bit more of an angle with my elbows. Once I've locked my hands together, I'm going to relieve that shoulder pressure, and as I relieve that shoulder pressure, I'm bringing my other elbow right across so that now my elbows are together, but notice I'm also dropping my shoulder back down. I'm not trying to stay up here because at this point he can start hand fighting and clearing those hands. So it has to be one that as I bring my chest up, I drop my chest right back down to, again, block him from getting his hands in there. I'm now going to take my feet, start posting up. At this point, I could finish it directly from the side control where I bring my elbows together, squeeze, and I can get the finish from there. But if you want to be a little bit more ruthless, I'm going to take my back leg, pop up to knee on belly, pull up on their head a little bit, and again, pinch my elbows together, and that's how we get the No-Gi Baseball Choke. Number 3, the Flue Choke, right? Somebody starts trying to trap into guillotine. I did a nice job of getting my hips to the other side, and now we're here, right? For some reason, people are still convinced that they need to just squeeze and hold onto your head, when in reality, if I get to this position, you should let go, start framing, and look to recompose, right? But nonetheless, your opponent is keeping their hand in place, so I'm gonna hit them with a counter choke, the Flue Choke. I'm gonna make sure that I have the crossface secured. I'm going to lock my hands in place. Now, here's a little detail. I want to trap this hand, so I'm not looking to bring my hands down here. I want to make sure that I really bring my arm up and over, and I'm also pinching my shoulder next to my head so that as I start applying this pressure, he can't just pull this hand free and escape the counter choke, right? So I'm going to trap his hand, lock my hands together. I can just pressure in and squeeze and get the finish. I also like to come up off my knees and hips and drive my body into his head as well, squeeze, and we still get the counter choke from there, and that is the Flue Choke. Number 4, the Scorpion Crush, or the TP Choke. TP Crush, right? I've heard both. Person's inside my guard, I'm holding their head down, or a lot of times if they're posting up off my hands here, or off my body here, I'm gonna look to scoop, bump my hips, and get them to post. The moment that they post, instead of trying to trap their arms or sweep them for whatever reason, I'm gonna finish them right from here. I'm going to take my feet, shoot my feet straight up in the air. My hands are going to reach all the way around and lock behind my legs. Now, as I just hold my hands nice and tight, I'm going to take my feet and just start extending them straight up as I pinch my knees together, and we're gonna get the Scorpion Crush from there. So again, one more time, he's posting, we're hand fighting. I clear the hands, bring my legs up, immediately lock my hands right behind my knees, elevate my feet, pinch my knees, and we get the Scorpion Crush from there. Now, you have to hit this quickly because if this guy starts posturing or whatever, I'm gonna have to abandon it. So again, the moment he posts, I wanna make sure that I pull myself up and we go for the TP Crush, Scorpion Crush, whatever you wanna call it. Number 5 is the Suloev Stretch. I can't really do this one all that well, so we'll have Cash demonstrate this, but I'll walk you through, right? Typically, person's gonna have the rear hooks in, they might have a seatbelt grip or something right there, just attacking your back, and for whatever reason, I feel the need to start kind of posting and posturing up like this. Now, if my hands are out far, it's gonna be difficult for Cash to hit this, so a lot of times guys will start kind of attacking the head a little bit, and this is gonna kind of force me to work up to, again, start hand fighting, or I might just post up and I bring my hands a little bit too close. What he's looking to do is work off to one side. His outside arm is going to reach behind my leg. His inside arm is looking to reach through the front of my arm and actually lock his hands, and all he's going to do is fall completely off to the side, bringing me down with him. Now, at this point, if he's holding even lower on my leg, you can get a little bit more of a knee bar motion from here, right? And he should be able to finish with a knee bar. If he's grabbing directly behind my knee, again, depending on body sizes and everything, essentially all he's going to do, especially because he's got the hooks, he's going to start pulling this leg out that way, he's going to start pulling this leg out this way, stretching my groin and everything across, and that is a Suloev Stretch. Number 6, the arm in rear naked choke. I've got my seatbelt grip, I've got back control. For whatever reason, this person's just giving me a hard time trying to get the finish with this choking arm, right? As long as I have this outside arm weaved in and I've got his wrist control, I can look to hit an arm in rear naked choke. So instead of stuffing this arm down to his pocket, where a lot of people will look to like trap it with their foot, I'm going to stuff this arm all the way across as much as I can. Obviously, he's gonna be fighting this a little bit, but that's fine. I'm just looking for enough time to get this hand just to the outside of his armpit. And once I can do that, I'm going to release his wrist, bring this arm back so that I can secure that elbow grip, bring this hand all the way around his head, hip in, squeeze, and we can get the arm in rear naked choke from there. Number 7, we have the triangle choke. And I'm gonna be honest with you, if I am ever able to hit this in a live match, boy's got some skills. I don't have the flexibility for this, but we're gonna just show you a setup anyways, right? If I'm playing this kind of knee shield, knee passing game, whatever, I'm going to elevate his foot, I'm going to step in deep, and I'm gonna sit back as if I was going to start going for a single leg. This typically is gonna get the guy to start sitting up, right? A lot of times they're gonna start reaching with this outside arm to start trying to clear that foot in the knee line. I'm going to grab that arm, and I'm gonna pull the arm towards me. This leg's gotta stay nice and deep, right? At the same time that I pull, I'm gonna now take my inside leg, bring it out, and shoot all the way up to, again, start securing the triangle choke. At this point, I start tucking, pulling the head down. I'm gonna now take my outside leg, bring it up and over. This is as tight as I can really get it right now. I'm going to look to now start squeezing, hipping in, and now not only are we getting the triangle choke, I've got his leg in place, I can attack the arm, and this is your triangle. Number 8, we have the executioner choke. Now, this is one that will be done off of a north-south position, right? And this could be done one of two ways. If I'm looking to finish a north-south choke, and he starts just pushing and posting off my head with his arm, I can set it up that way, or I can actually just look to get an underhook and start bringing my arm up and over. Either way, I'm looking to get tight to his armpit, and I'm looking to stuff this arm all the way across to his far pocket. Now, not only am I doing this, but I'm also going to start kind of walking up with him, essentially trying to turn him to the side as if I was going up into like a gift wrap top mount position, right? I'm gonna take this leg, and I'm gonna step all the way up and over, tuck this nice and tight. Now, instead of passing this arm through and continuing to just come up on top, I'm gonna pull him all the way back down and across. Now, as I pull him all the way back, right? We're gonna fall back to the other side. I'm going to lock my hands in place, or lock my feet in place, hip in, squeeze back, and that is the executioner. Number 9, the No-Gi Ezekiel Choke from mount. Again, I've been able to secure this position. I've scooped up his head. Now, when I'm looking to finish this choke, right, I want to get a deep crossface on him. Instead of trying to like bring this arm through and in front, which a lot of times will be very difficult, especially if this guy starts kind of just tucking and shrugging his shoulders, right? I'm gonna have a problem bringing his hand across. That's where a lot of times I switch, like making a fist, and I just punch on the side of the neck instead. But we want that No-Gi Ezekiel. So an option that we have from here is I'm gonna finish it as if I was doing a rear naked choke from the top. So when I'm in this position, I'm going to lock my hand to my elbow. I'm now going to bring my head up, and as I bring my head up, I'm bringing my hand directly across the front of his face, right onto his neck. I'm gonna drop back down, and now I'm going to just squeeze and finish as if I was doing a rear naked choke from the top, and that is your No-Gi Ezekiel Choke. Numero 10, the Peruvian necktie from turtle position, right? I'm in the front here like this. When I'm going for this choke, I'm gonna have my hands locked on this side. So essentially, as if I was looking to set up an anaconda, where I'm bringing my hand from the neck to the shoulder. However, again, I'm going to stop right here. My other hand's gonna come in, and I'm just going to lock my hands in place at this spot. Now, when I'm looking to set this up, the key detail is gonna be this leg initially. I wanna step deep. And as I step deep, I also want to then pull his head up so that his head is directly underneath my thigh, right? So as I block my hands, I've got his head here. I'm now going to fall back to that hip. I'm gonna take this leg, throw it up and over the top, and now as I extend my legs and extend my thigh and his head, I'm gonna just pull my hands back, and that is your Peruvian necktie. So there you have it, the 10 rarest submissions to hit in No-Gi Jiu Jitsu. Let us know which one of those was your favorite, and we'll see you next time.